Hey everybody, this is Andy here, aka Montolio, and we are going to do a spicy little deck today. We're going to try out Sedgemoor Witch. This is basically an Esper list. Saw a list that Echo Baronin posted and made some slight changes to it, added a couple JVPs to mitigate the quad fluster storm amongst other cantrips that may not be relevant because there are quite a few in the deck. Yeah, we're playing against Alpha Blade. This person has been doing quite well with Bug, so presumably that is what we were up against. And this is a pretty good hand. Sedgemoor Witch is pretty cool. I've run into it a number of times in leagues with people playing it. And yeah, I don't think I'm too worried about getting wastelanded here, to be honest. I mean, I guess I have two other fetches. Is there even any reason? I guess I'll just get a basic. And we'll just play a Sol Ring, and we're going to pass turn. And next turn, what this is going to allow us to do is to Sedgemoor and potentially Ancestral. See if there's a DRS here, whether it's worth... Is this actually worth wastelanding or misstepping? I think it is. I mean, that's good news, just an F6 there. Perhaps my opponent does not have a counter spell and just F6'd. I find that abnormal that they did do that, though. Most people do not F6. We'll go get a Underground Sea here, and we're going to cast our Sedgemoor. See if this resolves. And I think I am just going to Ancestral myself here. I see no reason not to. They F6'd right through the death, right? So if they want to force this, is totally fine. So they got the negation. Yep, we can live with that. So hopefully we don't get Abrupt Decayed here. We're kind of out of gas. We're hoping that Ancestral would resolve, but didn't want to play into a Flusterstorm. I don't know what kind of list Alpha Blade is playing, but let's do this. See if we can get Time Walk to work here. Probably okay here. A little bit flooded, unfortunately. Don't think I need to play the land here. Ponder's a pretty nice one. Do I want any of these? I could hold up Force of Will. I don't think I want any of those. Oh, that's a much nicer card. Let's take a peek and see what we're dealing with. Blood Turla. So they can't quite kick this. And they got triple Wasteland. That's a pretty bad hand for them. Underground Sea. And let's do that. Oh, nice. I will play this out in case I draw Daze or some damn thing. All right, look at this thing go. This is magnificent. I mean, it's no Mentor, but it certainly is solid. Now, even if my opponent somehow removes the Sedgemoor, which, yeah, they just conceded to it. Like, and even if they kill it, like, they're dealing themselves 3 damage, putting themselves down 8. I'm dealing 5 a turn, and Bug doesn't really have the capacity to be able to deal with Piddlywinks that are, when they have no presence on board. So, sure, they cast a Tarmogoyf. If I could care less, I'll be attacking with Wild Abandon in this situation. So, I mean, obviously that was a, fairly low prevalence hand, and that I had this turn 1 Sol Ring and the turn 2 Sedwitch, Ancestral. My point being, I had a very strong hand, and the Bug player maybe did not. Now, of course, I'm going to be dealing with oh, that's unfortunate. I had the Tinker target Tinker in this deck, when I built it. Tinker Blight Steel and main deck, and I had the Sphinx in the sideboard, but pulled the Tinker out to put in Jace Friend's Prodigy, and unfortunately left myself the Sphinx of the Steel one. But a little consequence. I mean, this deck, despite its pretty low prevalence, has the potential to be able to cast the Sphinx because we are playing Esper, and it would be very good in the situation that we're playing against Bug. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be very difficult to cast it. So what do we want to do here? I don't have a sideboard plan in mind for this type of deck. I mean, the Flusterstorms are still reasonably solid. They don't stop Abrupt Decay. The deck doesn't have a ton of cantrips in it. Probably could go down to 3. I think the Eliminates are going to be solid. I think Jaceren's Prodigy could be quite good, recurring the Fatal Push and the Eliminates. And obviously any of our other cantrips. We want all our lands. I think our Moxes are pretty good here. Obviously, they become a little bit worse when they get hit with Collector Roof, but we do have removal for Oof. I think Force and Negation is reasonably poor against them. Let's try this. Good old-fashioned fast deck building. Let's do this and not pay any attention to the sideboard and get stuck with a Sphinx in my deck. I mean, there could be some world where I actually do end up playing it, but we'll keep this. Yeah, hopefully it's not a turn 1 Collector Roof. Like maybe dealing with a Leovold or something. That was my opponent pausing now on my draw, having let me draw a card. They got an Ancestral here that they did an extra click on. Nice thing about this hand is it does actually have the potential to cast a Sedgemoor Witch. I'm going to play the Lotus out just in case I need to Flusterstorm. Like, I don't think my opponent has Ancestral here, but now, what are the likelihood they have Wasteland? I think I'm just going to get an island here once again. Because I have the black source in Mox Jet, I think it's pretty reasonable. Another question is do I want to, I could Merchant Scroll here for an Ancestral. Maybe I'm going to do that. The thing is here is that, like, if I've got the Sedgemoor, I would not mind casting it. Problem is that they're holding up an Abrupt Decay, so I think I'm just going to actually Merchant Scroll here. Let's play out the Mox here. Let's do this. So let's get an Ancestral Recall. I think Recall's a pretty good card. Let's try this. They may have a Flusterstorm as well that they're just sitting on. They had a misstep. Okay, well, I think we'll just fluster that. Hopefully they don't have another fluster. They got Force. Well, what the opponent did there is they are... Okay, so the opponent should have let my Flusterstorm unfurl. Okay, so they pretty much spent their hand there. Sorry, guys, I got quite distracted. My daughter just came in from being out for lunch and was making a lot of noise. And yeah, unfortunately, I kind of botched that play. I could have forced it, but I'm totally happy not doing that. They expended quite a bit of resources there too, so I think I'm just going to preordain here, and we'll take a look. There's the Sedgemoor Witch. I think I like the Sedgemoor. I'm going to put it on top, and hopefully we can draw a land or a blue card if need be, so we can preordain. This is presuming I don't have to force a will here. Okay, well, we didn't quite get there, so let's see. Mock Sapphire, I think, is okay. I want both of these cards. I think there is some world where we could have put the Preordain on the bottom and try to draw another, well, I was thinking about another mana source there, but that's really not that great. I think the card we're most scared here of is Leavold. Like, I don't think I'd worry too much about a Tarmogoyf. Now, this becomes a lot worse for us if they've got Abrupt Decay. I don't think we have the ability to play around that. So we'll just play it out naked and get no value off it if they have it. But, of course, it comes at the expense of 3 life, which is not irrelevant. Tabernacle. How interesting. Okay, so they are just not too worried about what we're doing. Well, I'm gonna gain life, guys. I mean, if I don't pay for my tokens, I gain life. It's not the worst. Because my token dies and I gain a life. And I do have the ability to pay for 3 tokens, so that is not irrelevant. We're going to attack in here. Well, I guess, Tabernacle is fairly reasonable tech against what I'm trying to do. I am very much in on a token strategy on this list, so Tabernacle is viable. I was about to say it's not very good, but it actually is pretty decent. It ties up my mana, but in this particular situation, I think it's quite fine. Let's see if my opponent, oh, they Flusterstormed. Okay. I will not pay. Okay. Let's see what they got. That basic island was actually a very good choice for me. There we go. Beaten down, guys. 1 card in hand, 2 cards after draw from my opponent. I've got a Force of Will here. This is feeling pretty good. And we are getting once again to a situation where we were similar to last game, in that my opponent, to kill my Sedgemoor Witch, is putting themselves within peril because it will cost them 3 life. And now is a situation where their fetch land is turned off to do that. I don't think I want to gush here. I don't think it's worth it. Rather play defensive here. Okay. So that was against a pretty big contender in the format, and Bug, which has been putting up really good numbers. I do feel good about that one. So we'll take